I tried not to be the person that was taking this. Happy holidays, J Rock. I tried not to be the person that was taking this trial personal. You know what I'm saying? Because it does happen like that when you just got these massive, you know what I'm saying, trials like this where it's just nationwide news and everything. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about it. It's just everybody's waiting for the outcome. And then it splits people. It splits people. You got the men versus the women. You got, you know, people feeling certain ways because of Rock Nation involvement, possibly. You got everybody's got these different personal investments to why they want to might see Tory win or Meg win, right? It starts to get personal. It's human nature. The more, even with the Young Thug shit, you know, think about like how you might look at YSL as a group or as a team, and if you really rock with them as a musical group, and then you start seeing all these people taking a plea, do you start to feel like, damn, that I thought y'all was brothers, or however you feel about that? And we'll get to that in the second part. It starts to have like these personal little feelings towards your own opinions on what's transpiring, on what's happening. And I try so hard not to do that with this Tory and Meg case. I tried not to take it personal. I tried to just say, you know what, I'm just going to follow this from an interesting standpoint. I don't want to say entertainment because, you know, there's people's lives involved. I do take in a lot of shit that don't involve me and it ain't my business for just pure entertainment. But I was interested. I was very interested. You learn things. It's good to have reminders sometimes in life of things that you want to avoid and stay away from. How many times do we backslide? Like there's things that we know we need to be careful with, and then something happens, and you be like, you know what? Let me clean up my act. Like let's say Trouble, rest in peace, Trouble. Trouble passed away earlier this year, right? Let's say you've known for a long time that, you know, you try not to entertain some of the ladies that you might be rocking with unless there's like wifey, or you seriously know them or trust them, or you know what I'm saying. You don't really entertain some of those situations, you know, maybe at their house or in places that you're not that familiar with, or you know, whatever. And then you might know that the Trouble thing happens, and then people get reminded, like, oh shit, like you want to know what? Let me stop going over there, man. Like she's talk about her ex. I don't know, dude. Never met him. I don't really know her like that. Women be lying, men be lying. You know what? Let me chill out. Let me chill out. You know, that happens. So I felt the same way with this Tory Lanez shit. It's just like you're looking at this trial, you're looking at all the details come out, and it's like, are you a target because your popularity? Did she get upset when things hit social media out of embarrassment? Did she really get shot? You know, what about this neighbor that came out on a balcony and saw a fight? Was this over a love triangle, or was it because Meg was running around with the next woman's dude behind her back? It's just all these little details, and you start to have this personal investment. And by the time I got to yesterday, this is before the verdict came out, it did start to become personal for me. You know, it did. It did. I really started feeling like this is going to be a blow to men, to a degree, because it just didn't feel right. If you just got to look at it from the legal perspective of, you know, the prosecution has to prove beyond reasonable doubt that didn't happen. That didn't happen. You know, so then she's got the obvious lies. The whole thing between her and Kelsey, it's obvious that we may never know the full truth there. You know, from the shoulder bump outside the car to an all-out fight that's being described by the neighbor on the balcony, a nail and all this type of stuff found on the ground. Like, what? Hey, all this, like, oh, there wasn't no fight. Somebody ain't get dragged. One of y'all women ain't get dragged. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, even the shit with fucking her going public and saying she never slept with Tory. No, all right. You know, sometimes you might feel for need of your reputation to tell those little white lies, but everybody feels like if you're willing to lie over like such small things, especially during the midst of the allegation, it's not like, you know, nothing happened. Then she just came out and said, oh, Tory, oh, you seen me in some pictures with him? Yeah, I ain't sleeping with him. This was after the allegations. This was after the shooting and all this type of shit, the alleged shooting. So then she goes on this big platform, and it's all got to be prepped. You know, you got to be prepped. I got to assume that your lawyers are aware that you're about to do that. You're looking towards it, understanding, all right, when I get up there, I'm going to say these things. I'm going to avoid these things. I'm not going to say this. When you ask about Tory, I'm going to say I didn't sleep with him. So it's all prepped. So knowing that you're going into a big situation like that and you're willing to come in front of the public in the midst of this big situation and lie, that's the type of stuff that makes you uncredible. You know what I'm saying? Like it removes the credibility from your statements, so it's just like beyond reasonable doubt did not happen, and I think Tory was probably half celebrating. Um, wasn't there next to the man or nothing like that, but there was just small things that would happen that let you feel like he's confident. And I'm not just talking about the stuff for perception and for image, like when you're running out the court smiling and everything like that. A lot of people do that coming out of court, like they're showing a certain image, they're showing a certain energy to people because there's court of public opinion as well that's happening, right? So you got that going on. But even when they recently found, was it the bodyguard or something, or the last witness to be called in last minute, and on Tory's side as a defense, they was like, you want to know what? Fuck it, skip it. We want to go now. We would like to push now for this verdict. That shows confidence, like as if you didn't feel that you needed to do that. Him not taking the stand himself, you can kind of say that that's partial confidence, and would they have drilled him on some certain things that he probably would have wanted to avoid? Of course. I think it was very smart not to take the stand for him, but you got to understand. Well, I shouldn't say you got to understand. In my opinion, if they felt like, yo, this shit is like 80% on the prosecution side at this point, like we getting our asses kicked, the shit that has come out, the evidence that's been presented, the way that these witnesses are talking up here to this court, fuck that. I got to get up there and try to save my own life like it's a last resort. That would have happened too. So like those three factors right there shows me that he was confident. I don't think anybody on his side didn't have strong confidence. Like no lawyer is going to tell you, oh, don't worry, you're about to get off. No lawyer tells you that. They always have to give you that small factor, like, well, any good lawyer is going to, like, trust me, I've hired lawyers plenty of times. They're always going to tell you, like, we feel confident in this. They're not going to tell you, like, oh, we got this. They really can't. It's not like good lawyer practice to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you could tell, like, they had a lot of confidence on their side. And so last night, we heading to dinner. I had Toronto 3 playing in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, I ain't gonna lie, sorry, it's true for me too. I started early celebrating. Like, I started to take it fucking personal, this trial. And I'm playing Toronto 3, reminding myself of how fucking talented this kid is. Tory Lanez on the low is better than a lot of your favorite rappers. Like, this nigga's a fuck. Yeah, he's talented as shit. And I think he always edited and produced his own shit. But anyway, so we at dinner now, and then somebody says it at the table, and I'm like, nah, there's no fucking way. I go on my phone, guilty, Tory Lanez, all 3 counts. I'm like, oh shit, how? So on the other side of the spectrum, like, is it like one of those things where you feel there's the side that you're saying, ARP, of not carrying this whole stereotype that a woman could scream wolf or lie or possibly get a man in more trouble than he deserves. On the other side, I do see the narrative of, well, at the same time, you do still have a victim. And I think it was proven that there was bullet fragments in her foot, whether a bullet directly hit her or not. I'm pretty sure the evidence and like one of the doctors or whatever did prove that there was bullet fragments in her foot. So that means that she's still a clear victim, whether Kelsey shot her, whether Tory shot her, whether there was a struggle for the gun and she got hit on accident, whether the fucking driver, whoever, right? Whatever. You still have a victim. There's still obvious gunshots. We know that. There's gunpowder residue all over the place. I think they said they didn't find Tory's DNA on the gun, but there's gunpowder residue on everybody, right? You have the bullet fragments in her foot. You got witnesses attesting to the muzzle flashes and the gunshots going off. So yes, a gun went off and somebody was injured. So on that side, it's like you got a victim. And she's on the stand crying, and she's trying to tell you that, she's embarrassed and she's hurt by this. And even the semi-suicidal type of thing when she comes out and says shit like, I wish he would have just really killed me instead if I knew I was going to have to go through all this. Man, that creates some strong narratives on the other side. Because then you sit there and be like, yo, we have a black woman that wasn't scared to come forward against a celebrity, another man, another black celebrity man, and tell us that she was hurt. And think about the legal system. They also want to take their opportunities to show that you can tell and you will be protected and you will get justice. And there's nothing wrong with that. Once again, the world is full of civilians and people that perform civil duty. We went through this on the whole Stop Snitching series. You know, shout out to everybody that watched all 6 of those parts. So you wanna make people feel comfortable in society that they can come forward. That's what the legal system is supposed to be for. That's what law enforcement is supposed to be for, right? To enforce the law. If nobody wants to, trust that they can go to the police, if nobody wants to trust that they can get, some type of outcome after crime victim in the legal process, then you're gonna have detractors. People's gonna say, like, come out for what? Just so I can get dragged, just so everybody can bash me, just so I can end up in front of this damn court proceedings and make it national statewide news, and then it's going to be a not guilty plea anyway, and he's going to get out and make songs about me. You know what I'm saying? So you got that whole, this is where I start to say, I understand. And I'm me saying I understand, don't take that as like, yo, ARP, are you disrespecting the legal process? It's not that I'm disrespecting the legal process. It's just that because it's not a clear-cut situation, and there's so much mess in it, and there's so much contradictions that have happened between the main 3 people of Tory, Meg, and Kelsey. No matter how it was going to go, I was always going to say that there's a bunch of questions still left in the air, and only like 3 or 4 people know the answer. I feel like that regardless. So at that point, it's about the narrative. Which one is more important to the outcome of the situation? Is it Tory's of, something happened, but maybe he wasn't fully responsible? Maybe it was just some love triangle shit going on or whatever. Or something happens, because on both sides of the narrative, something happened, right? Something happened. You have a clear, proven victim. As for ballistics and this doctor that pulled the bullet fragments or whatever, et cetera, we have a gun. We have gun residue. We have somebody telling us that they've been shot. All this type of stuff. It's like, I really, as I think about it, see like, yeah, I see why it goes to Meg. All the juries or jurors going in that direction beyond reasonable doubt. That's a question I'm gonna have forever, unless a book gets written by somebody or Tory starts speaking from the cell and more information comes out. He admits to something. I don't know, but unless more information comes out, I'm always gonna say like, yo, beyond reasonable doubt, that's scary.